Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Life with Claire. If you're new here, hi, welcome, and thank you for clicking on my video. Today's going to be another makeup tutorial for my new series this fall, which is creating a fall look using every single palette I own. Today we're going to go ahead and use the Carly Bible, there you go, the Carly Bible and BH Cosmetics collab. I do not know if this is still available for, like, if it's still for sale. If it is, I will link it, you know, in the description bar below. But yeah, so we're gonna use this because I've only ever used this once, like ever, and I've had it for a year. I just spat. I don't know if the camera caught that, but okay. I'm a little frustrated because we purchased a Yeti. Maybe I will talk through this because I need a vent. I need a moment. I need to let it all out. We purchased this Yeti T6, or this Yeti T6, this Yeti blue, what's this blue Yeti microphone? I wanna cry because they're supposed to like $100 and it does not work with the Canon EOS Rebel T6 DSLR camera, even though people says it does. That, and I'm just like tired, and we just wasted an hour trying to figure this out. So my camera's still I'm using my camera mic, which is like picking up everything in the house, and it probably sound echoey, and you can hear the traffic, like it just picks up everything. Anyways, today's a pretty chill day, not really doing anything. Emilio's sick, but he is pulling through and sitting here helping me film this. So like I mentioned, we're gonna go ahead and just do makeup. So anyways, that's what I was dealing with. I'm just gonna prime my skin with the Instant Age Rewind because I'm an old fart. Just like a pea-size amount, and that's more than enough. If you're not used to this, it's not a hydrating primer whatsoever. It's just silicone based, but it does do a good job at blurring the skin. This does a good job at blurring your skin. Oh my god. I need help. I need Jesus to come into my life one more time. Anyways, I'm done my smile lines too, because that's where like creasing happens. Because see right there. Jesus, take the wheel. All right, so now that we're primed, I'm going to color correct. I'm going to do the oh god,
You're gonna struggle so hard.
this video is such a mess. I'm going to take the LA Girl Pro Conceal in orange to help with some discoloration. So like anywhere I have some dark spots, dark areas. Now if you guys are like new and be like, what the heck are you doing? You don't know what color correcting is. Basically these colors, if you've seen them, orange, mints, peaches, yellows, purples, all counteract something on your skin. So orange, if you're darker, deeper skin tones, helps with like dark spots and any kind of like weird shadowing type thing that's happening on your face. Peach also does that for fair skin tones. And then mint is for, the green shade is for like redness, yellow's for brightening, and then purple's like if you have like really dull skin, like looking like sickly, purple helps with that as well. Alright, so now that that is set and we're good, we're discolored, we are color corrected, I'm going to go in with foundation. The foundation I'm using today I've used before. It's my tried and true, it's my favorite, you guessed it, it's a Laura Mercier Smooth, Flawless, Fluid, something foundation. I am in the shade Chai. Why are you shaking your head, babe? It's literally rubbed off. Smooth Finish, Flawless, Fluid Foundation. That is the name of it. And I say this every time I use it. That name is way too long. My sponge, I'm gonna let it. This is MAC Fix Plus if you're not aware. This is a sponge I used in my last video. It's from the Cream Shop. Look at this. So loud. It sounds like it's like whacking my face super hard. It's not. I'm just gonna add some more coverage to where I color corrected here on my cheeks because this finish is really nice. It's like a light medium, so it just needs a little extra help on the sides of my face. I typically don't set this foundation, so for right now I'm just gonna let it do its thing. If I feel like I need to for any reason, I'll go in with something and I'll show you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows really quickly. My mirror is gonna be in the way for a second while I do this. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows really fast, and I'm gonna use the NYX Micro Brow Pencils in Espresso and what's this one called? Ash Brown. That's as good as my brows are gonna get. And then before we actually put brow gel in them, I like to wait to the very end to do that, so that like all the powders that we put on our face kind of like go away. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the face. My skin is still a little bit tacky, but before we actually set it, I'm gonna go to concealer. I'm gonna mix 2 concealers today because I feel hella dry. It's fall here in Chicago, so that means that the weather's super cold, and I already have dry skin, and that just gives me more dry skin. It's just this whole thing. So I'm going to use Tarte Shape Tape in light medium and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer on top of it to give me some hydration, because this one, the Tarte, is kind of a matte, a little drying, and the Pro Glow is really dewy and hydrating, so mixing them together works out. So if you're like, that's a lot of concealer, it is. It really is. Then with the same sponge, just gonna blend it out. It's like when you mix those two, the L'Oreal like takes away how full coverage the Tarte one is, which I kind of don't like, but it adds so much hydration that I just forgive it. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and set everything. I know I look a little crazy, but once everything is set and we have bronzer on, it won't look so crazy. So to set the under eyes, I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Shine Free Loose Powder in 01 Light. And then the rest of my face, I'm going to go, of course, with the Wet n Wild Pressed Powder, and I'm in the shade Golden Tan. So I'm just going to go in with the powder. I will take a little bit of this powder and set my smile lines. Again, going in with the Wet n Wild brush, powder, and setting my face. So we're going to set my face. And so what I like to do is just stamp the powder on first where I want it, and then I start buffing. So for contour, I'm going to go in with a Wet n Wild. I'm going to try and stay with all affordable products today. So I'm going to go with the Wet n Wild Contour Duo. I'm going to take this darker shade very lightly because it is pretty pigmented. It's a really smooth powder and a lot picks up. And on an angled brush, I'm just going to do some light powder contouring. Nothing too harsh. I think what I want to go for today is something like an everyday fall look. Like not so smoky like my last one. Just more kind of like a natural, something you can probably wear to work, or I don't know. Just not so intense, I guess. And then we're going to go on to bronzing. I picked up a new bronzer at the drugstore. It is from Wet n Wild. It is the limited edition Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. And I picked up the one in Queensland. This is how it looks. It reminds me of the highlighters that they produced not that long ago. So I did swatch it, but as you can tell, it has like a little bit of a sheen, which I love. I love bronzers that give a little bit of a glow. This has been my favorite bronzer brush recently. It's from Aesthetica. It's their P12 brush. This is my first time using it on my face, so I'm excited to see how that goes. If you guys don't know, I love bronzer so much. feel like I can't tell. I know from swatching it, it was kind of like a light, like a buildable bronzer, but I don't mind that at all. I feel like people can be very heavy-handed with bronzer, so if it's buildable, I like it. Like, I'm looking at the monitor and I feel like it looks far more like intense, same with my contour, but in reality, like, I can barely see it, and it's just the settings that the camera is on right now. I think like the saturation is just a little too high. We're gonna go in a little bit more with the Maybelline powder, and I'm just going to run that underneath here to clean it up a little bit. I don't bake for too long. I just take the brush that I use my powder with and I just start to dust that off. I don't like a harsh bake. Alright, so the base is almost done. I'm just going to go in with blush. Now, one of my favorite blushes of all time is the L'Oreal True Match blush in Warm Shad. It is beautiful. It has like a really pretty sheen to it. It's gorgeous. I'm going to take my e.l.f. like angled brush or whatnot, similar to the one I use to contour, but I use this one for blush. And I'm just going to add that in. Oh, and this blush kind of like goes with everything. It's kind of, it is my go-to blush for fall. I tend to get a bit heavy-handed with blush, but that's okay because blush is one of the things, it's one of the powders on your face that tend to fade away first. Oh, right, so we're gonna go ahead and get to the eyes, and then we'll do the highlighting and the lips at the very, very end. I just kind of want to do like a really blown out look, like nothing too intense like I mentioned before. So I'm going to go with the Beach and Carly Bible palette. I'm going to slide this out. And this is what it looks like in the inside if you guys aren't familiar. It has a mirror, and then these are the shades. So really light, kind of neutrally semi-warm tone shades. But all really, really pretty. I know for a fact I want to use this shade right here on my lid. And then everything else I'm not exactly sure I'm going to do. But I will show you. So I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild kind of like fluffy blender blush. And I think I'm just going to take, I'm going to do this Mauve tone shade. They don't have names, so I'm just going to point and show you guys. But I think I'm going to take this one and start blending that in the crease. So I'm going for like really blown out, nothing too dark, just kind of romantic-y, light fall. I say that, and then this eyeshadow, oh, you know what, let me zoom in. Anyways, I was saying I like how I said I wasn't gonna go like too dark and deep, and then this dark mauve shade. It's really pretty though. We can still make it light, so I'm not too worried. But I'm just really gonna buff that out. I kind of tend to like recently been like packing color here, pack color here, and then start blending each end toward the center, either in windshield wiper motions or in circular motions. And then I've been really into just kind of getting that inner corner a little bit more blown out. Now we're going to go in with a more tapered brush. This is one from Sonia Kashuk. It is the A brush, which I think is, when I picked this up, it was like for accent or something like that. I'm going to go in with, I think this shade right here. Just want something more pink. I guess we're going mauves, guys. I think we're going to do a mauve look. So with this shade, I'm just kind of going more into the crease. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. little tinted lip balm. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I talked about this in a snap. It is a lip balm. It's minty and has a little bit of tint to it. It's like $1. So inexpensive. Just going back in with that first brush and no extra product, just kind of blending what we just did a little bit out. Okay. The very next thing we're gonna do is take this shade right. Did you see that? That's what happened last time. They just all fell out. I'm gonna take this shade right here. I don't have a flat shader brush, and you can use that. I'm just gonna go in with my finger, I think, and pick that shade up and apply it on my lid. Holy smokes, how beautiful. Obviously, I'm not super precise, but we're gonna fix that. So going back in with that tapered brush, just cleaning up inside the crease with no extra product. So I just went in with a little bit more of those two eyeshadows we first started with. And went back into the crease because some of the shimmer shades went in the crease, which I'm not mad at. I actually don't mind shimmers like all the way, like a shimmer shade all the way up to like the brow if need be. So I'm gonna go ahead because I dusted off a little bit of that first shade. So I'm gonna go back in with my finger. I'm gonna be a little bit more precise this time, just kind of staying lower on the lid. So then I'm going to go in with a more like precise blender brush. This is the MAC 217 I think. I'm going to take this outer Mauve shade right here and just pack a little bit of that on the outside. So I'm just doing like really short circular motions and just keeping the pigment right out here on this outer end. Then again, going back in with the first brush we used. Just kind of buffing the edges out a little bit. Take a little bit of that first shade. Don't intend on doing lashes today. I just want kind of like a semi-soft fall look. So because of that, I want to make sure that my inner corner is just like really, really bright. So instead of taking my finger, I'm actually going to pick up a more like precise brush. So I'm going to take, I think this shade right here for my inner corner. I mean, this is like an e.l.f. little kind of domed brush. I just think I have a large like inner corner, so this like fits perfectly in there. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of this shade and really just focus it on my inner corner. And a little bit on this little lower lash line part. And then with the same brush, I'm going to go in with the two shades we used in our crease. And then running that lightly just on this lower lash line area. And then for the outer end, just to connect that outer part, going in with that shade right here. So I did get a little bit of fallout with that last shade on my lower lash line, so I'm just taking my brush and flicking it away from my face. So now that that eye is done, we're just going to do a brow highlight. And for the brows, taking the same exact e.l.f. brush, just kind of cleaning it off on my palm. And I think I'm going to go in, I don't know if I want to go matte or highlighted. Maybe more satin, so I'm going to take this matte creamy shade and then dip a little bit into this inner corner highlight shade we used. I'm tapping off the excess and then just going in right there. Ooh, that's a lot lighter than I wanted, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just do mascara. I'm not going to curl my lashes. I just don't have it in front of me, and I just don't always do that anyways, but I am going to go in with a mascara that I know kind of like adds some volume and some curl. And that is the L'Oreal, is this L'Oreal? Yes, okay. L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. It's a dupe for the Better Than Sex. As I guess that's what's, I don't know, to be honest, like the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced is nice. I'm just moving my mirror a little bit closer. It just always dries out and it flakes all the time. And this one, I can see how it like reminds someone of the Better Than Sex's packaging and the wand. But this one just doesn't flake as much and doesn't clump as much either, so I wouldn't say it's a dupe. I would say it's definitely a lot better. And this one I feel like curls my lashes a lot more. Like, look at that. Look at that. Babe. Look at it. And that's without curling my lashes, so you could imagine. So that's how my eyes looking. Alright, so this is how the eye look is turning out. I really like it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye off of camera, and then I'll get right back here and finish off the rest of the face. Alright, so this is how the eye look turned out. I really do like it. I think it's soft and mauve and fall, but good for daytime or the afternoon, but not too smoky. But in a good spot where like if you need to build it up and make it even more smoky for like a sultry evening, you can, which is really nice. But we're going to go ahead and move on to lips, highlight, and setting spray, and then we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the lip balm I had on. And I think for lips, I want to do like a liquid lipstick or something, which is usually not like me. So I think what I'm going to start off with is the Wet n Wild lipstick in Mocha-licious. Now you can do a liner and then gloss, or a liner and then a lipstick if you're not comfortable lining your lips with the actual bullet. I'm okay with it for the most part. So I just go in. I just like, if I can eliminate one more step, I do. That's why, one of the reasons why I don't own a lot of lip pencils. I think I own like 7 right now. This is definitely giving me like mauve vampy feels. So that is Mocha-licious on the lips. I am going to go in with this little glossy shade right here in the center. Or maybe I think I'll do all 3 of these. I'm going to do Soft Spoken in the center because it is lighter. Alright, it's not fully dry just yet, but I'm going to go in with this little glossy lipstick right here. It smells so good. That is it right there. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, our lips are done. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly add in some brow gel. And the brow gel I'm using is just like some random one I got in my BoxyCharm a while ago. Here it is. It's the Elizabeth Mott Queen of the Fill eyebrow gel, and this is in the shade medium dark. So I'm just going to brush that, and I like to brush my hairs up. And then highlighter is the last thing, on setting spray. So to highlight, the one benefit of having this palette is that you get a ton of highlight shades, for various different skin tones. So I'm going to go ahead and focus probably on these top 2 shades right over here, like a little mix of blend of both. So I'm just going to... And the brush I'm using has been my favorite highlighter brush ever since I picked it up at like, it's a TJ Maxx or something. It is the Cream Shop highlighter brush, and it's so beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop that highlighter on here. So I'm just going to go in just with this one, I think. The very tip.
That's what she said.
These highlighters are bomb. They're so good. They're so good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is set our face. Alright. Set it and forget it. Oh, I'm scared. You know, I think that's why I'm so liberal with setting spray, is because I know I have so much of it that I need to get through, that I'm just like, gonna set everything. I'm gonna drench my face. So right now what I like to do is take the beauty sponge that I used before to apply my other products, and I pounce that setting spray in. I just feel like it melts everything so beautifully to the skin. And the very last thing I like to do is pop just a little bit more highlighter before my setting spray dries right at the apples of the cheeks, or not the apples, the high points of the cheek. Alright guys, and that is the finished look. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so you can get the whole entire feel. Alright, so this is the finished look. This is my second fall look using the Carly and BH Cosmetics collab palette. It is beautiful. I had lipstick again on my teeth. Anyways, it's a really good palette to have, so if it is available, I will link it down below. Once again, thank you guys so much for clicking on my video, and if you stick to the end, congratulations, you won nothing except for my love and respect. So, again, I appreciate it. It means so much to me. Again, please be sure to follow me on all my social medias before you X out. I'll link everything down below for you, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye.